Now it's my pleasure to get to welcome Peg Coates. We're very excited to get to have her here as our guest speaker. She's got quite an extensive bio, and this is actually pretty scaled down. She's got vast experience in teaching, and she's been nominated for many different awards and recognized among the who's who among teachers twice. She's also done a lot of coaching for years and was the president of the Colorado Coaches of Women's Sports, and a train the trainer person for the Department of Education Southwest region, specializing in drug and alcohol prevention, and also has worked as an addictions counselor and has a master's in criminal justice. Currently, Peg's a certified life coach and a licensed spiritual practitioner. She joined ASEA before the formal launch back in July of 2010. And she passionately loves the company, the leadership, the community, and the products. And I hear that the ethos was the reason that she tried the products. And so help me in welcoming Peg Coates.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's such an honor to be here. I do love passionately every part of this company. You know, my mission in life is really to help people get over, under, around, or through anything that keeps them from being who they're here to be the best person, the best version of themselves. And that really does fit with the ethos of this company. It fits with what I think most people want to do. They want to have a positive life. They want to have a positive impact with people. When I ran into this company, I got a phone call from a good friend. At that time, I wasn't interested in any kind of a business at all, but the doctors had said to me, you know, Peg, you have maybe 6 months to a year before you're crippled, and you're going to have to be in an electric chair, you know, not electric chair, electric cart, let's put it that way. So how would you have liked that you're going to be crippled? I didn't like it too very much. Matter of fact, I'm a lifelong athlete. It's an honor to be on here with Marcia and Jerry White, because you talk about lifelong athletes. They certainly are. My last sport actually was a triathlon. And that's when I first had a doctor say to me, you know, Peg, it'd be good for you. I want to know, when can I go back and train? And the doctor said, well, you know, triathlon would be good for you. Definitely it would help your muscles hold your joints together. However, you'll go crippled much faster. Having been a lifelong athlete, I played semi-professional softball. I played rugby. That was interesting. I coached volleyball, as you heard. And so my body has taken a bit of a hit, so to speak. I'm a project. When I met this technology, I was doing 4 to 8 pain pills a day. I was doing prescribed medication. I was doing 16 joint supplements. I was using magnetic technology to not hurt. And so when I tried this, it took me about 2.5 months to realize I had not renewed my prescription for my pain meds. If you've ever been on a cruise, you guys, you know that you have to be dedicated just to get to dinner, right? It's a long walk generally. And I had a cruise scheduled 2.5 months after I started using the product. And I got on that cruise, and I just kind of forgot, you know, who I was. I forgot what was going on. I forgot my age. And I would dance until 2 in the morning. You know, I went on excursions. I got myself to the dining hall. I snorkeled. And I realized when I got home, I had done 1 pain pill that entire trip. And it was because of the Redox, the liquid, that I was able to do that. And I realized this was part of what I wanted to share. I wanted to share it too because of the ethos. And I don't know how much time I have. Gloria, how much time do I have here?
Oh, we'd love for you to take 15 minutes or around that.
Okay, great. I said to Jerry earlier, I didn't want to share screen, but I'm going to ask if that's possible now. I'll wait.
In process, one moment.
Okay, very good. So the ethos really is the heart and soul of this company. The person that called me to introduce me to this basically had said, let's see here. They basically said to me, you know, Peg, you're going to love this company because of the heart and culture of it. And I just want to show you that there are several elements to this. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I want you to understand the heart of this company and the culture that is at the core of it. Because to me, it's an amazing, spirit-based, loving company. So let's take a look at this concept of E2PC, which basically is talking about managing the motives that we have for doing our lives and perhaps our businesses. And here's what the P stands for. The P stands for principles. And principles really are about concentrated truths like integrity and civility. I don't know what you think about what's happening in the world today, but I think we could use more integrity and civility in it. It has to do with E2 is ego and economics. So you have the E2, which is ego and economics. Then you have principles. And then the C stands for your capacity, the potential that you have and the ability that you have. And the number one rule in this company is always to keep the ego and economics under the principles. When I heard that, I thought, you know what? I can hitch my wagon to this if that's real. Because how many corporations do you know that say, let's keep our ego under the desire to maybe spin something in order to get better income? And this company does not do that. I've watched it for 12 years, and I've watched them make these decisions based on keeping principles and purpose and people over ego and economics. So here's the success formula. If you look at E, which is ego and economics, and if you give someone a score out of 10 and they score 5, so they care about making money, they care about providing for their families, and then they're at about an 8 in terms of their integrity. Still, you have the ego and economics below. Do you see that? So this is a fairly good score. But what would happen, do you think, if the ego and economics were 8 and the principles and purpose was a 2? That wouldn't be a very good person, right, to be working. I would not want to work with them, because that would mean that they're going to spin. They may not tell the truth. They are more interested in greed and getting ahead than they are saying the truth. So managing your motives is you never let your ego and motivations get greater than your commitment to living in alignment with true principles. And you work at building your capacity. You know, we're valued in life mainly by the degree that you make yourself valuable for people. And that can happen by working on yourself, but also providing service and value. You heard at the beginning of this call about believe, belong, become. And this is kind of the mantra that we work on in this company: believing, belonging, and becoming. Because when you believe in each other, you actually start to feel like you belong to each other. You're committed to each other. You're committed to each other's success. And when you belong to each other, you serve one another. Mother Teresa once said, if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we actually belong to each other. Think of that. If we have no peace, we've forgotten. You know, I've heard it say that separation is what causes all illness. Feeling separate, feeling alone, feeling like we don't belong. So the outcome, when we're talking about our company, our culture, and what we're up to, the outcome is not income. The outcome is to become. The highest reward in a person's toil is not what we get for it, but what we become as it. If you take a look, think of this little caterpillar, and what has to happen for them to spread into these beautiful butterflies. So the summary is to believe in yourself, first and foremost, not to waste resources. The most wasted resource in the world really is our human resource. So it's really important to disregard or discard the negative baggage that we have from the past and start to believe in yourself. Set your heart and mind to that, to believe in the product, the opportunity that is available here, the industry that we represent, and ASEA, our company. Belonging to someone and something is one of our most fundamental human needs. We need to belong to each other and take care of each other. So again, the outcome is not income, it's overcome and become, then income. Our people are our products, not so much our technology. Ubuntu is a concept I'm not sure you've heard of before, but it's really a beautiful concept. And perhaps the motto that goes with Ubuntu is I am because we are. Now, there's an interesting story that goes with this. You can see here that Desmond Tutu talked about this when he said the very essence of human beings is when we say so-and-so has Ubuntu. That's a beautiful thing to say, because that means that they are generous, hospitable, friendly, caring, and compassionate. When you share what you have, it's to say my humanity is caught up and is extra, gosh, Jerry, help me with the word, will you? Extricably bound up in ours. We belong in a bundle of life. A person is a person through other persons. Now take a look at this picture, because it is said, this is an African concept, Ubuntu. It is said that a psychologist was in a village. Some of you may have heard this story. And he got all the boys in the village lined up, and down the road, they put a big basket of fruit. He said to the boys, when I say go, run down there, and the first person that gets to that big basket of fruit will get the entire basket. All of that will go to you. Now, when he said go, the boys grabbed hands and walked to the basket of fruit. The psychologist was really puzzled, and he went down and he said, boys, did you not understand what I said? I said, whoever gets here first gets everything. And the boys looked puzzled, and he said, why didn't you go for it? And they said, because somebody in our group would have to do without. And I don't want to hurt my brother. We have enough that we can share. So when you think about this concept, we all belong to the greater whole. If we are diminished or humiliate one another, we are basically hurting and diminishing the other. So we need to keep that in mind with the way that we treat one another. And that's a core issue in this company. I am because we are. No one exists in isolation. We're all interconnected. What we do affects the whole world, and none of us reaches any heights without supporting others and helping others. So you can see that this company has some really golden rule, basic bottom line foundational beliefs and core concepts, which together we call the ethos. And I haven't even hit on all the others. There are some beautiful little videos you can watch to cover some of these others. But I am so in love with this company. I'm in love with the ethos. I'm in love with the technology. It's given me my life. I can live fully. I'm surrounded by wonderful, positive people like the people on this call, and honored to be with you tonight. In the video, you saw that it's really important for people to do what we love, for people to have their highest and best performance, and for people to feel healthy. Now, if I love to ask people, what are the 3 things you value the most in your life? And I want you to think about that for a minute. What are 3 things you value the most? What would be the number 1 thing? The number 2 and the number 3 things. I can usually tell when I talk to somebody about that if health is number 1, that means they've had some health issues. They know what it's like to lose health. Our founder, Vertus Norton, says we are valued in life largely to the degree that we make ourselves valuable. And you tell me, is there any better way to provide value to people than to give them an answer to their living a healthy, rich, rewarding life, where we give them an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives, where we can go out and be the best that we can be by valuing others and by offering them health, possibly financial support as well. So that's the completion of my share. I hope it's been valuable to you.
Great, and thank you, Peg. And before I close it up, I just want to check and see that we've heard some really amazing information tonight. And I want to give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have noted down. So I know I've got some. So I'm wondering, Peg, if I might ask you if you would share a little bit more about your personal journey with how much of the product were you using and what differences have you seen over this space of 12 years with the different products?
I'd be glad to answer that question. You know, I'll tell you, when I first started, I was doing 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces a night of the liquid. I had some severe issues, not only my feet, but I'd had 5 rotator cuff surgeries done. Since that time also, I've had surgery, knee replacements, that kind of thing. So, you know, if you've ever gone into a massage person and they ask you to circle the problem areas, I just put a big circle around the whole body. But that was before, right? I mean, that was really before, because I use the Redox. I use everything, okay, because my health is really important to me. And every aspect that we have plugs in together. I'm currently doing 4 ounces in the morning and 4 ounces at night. The other thing I would say to you is I had a special kind of issue with my immune system. And it's a tough one. You know, it's one of those things that people say you can't do anything about it. I used to go to the arthritis doctor every year just to have them check my blood to see how that little issue was there. And I just kept drinking. I drank my ASEA. I was doing 4 at that point. It was probably it was about 2.5 years into drinking. I was doing 4 in the morning, 4 at night. And in 2.5 years, there was no blood markers of that problem at all. So what I want to say to you guys is you just keep moving through, because these different kinds of technologies continue to work with wherever the body needs them, because it improves that communication so much, right? And I take a look. I think my skin looks pretty good. And this year I will be 75. Okay. Most of the people that I grew up with, actually, it's funny. I went to a reunion, Jerry, and I had somebody come up to me and say, "Is it true?" And I'm like, "Is what true?" And they said that blondes have more fun. And I'm like, "Honey, this is my gray. Okay, this is not this is not dyed. This is natural. This is me, right?" But they say, "How do you not change?" I mean, seriously, Peg, how do you not change? You haven't aged. It's crazy, right? And of course, I have a reason why I have not aged, right? Because my skin keeps replenishing itself, and it's not doing that 100-day thing, Jerry, at all, because of the technology that we have. I also love the new cell performance packets. I love them because I take the combination of the mind and energy in the morning. I mix it with water, And it comes, I do my liquid ASEA, then I do lemon water, then I do the cell performance. And you know what's happened, you guys? It's 3 in the afternoon and I realize, oh, I haven't eaten anything. You know, I get going in my day and I realize I didn't have time or take time to do breakfast and I'm not feeling it. So these little powders are really incredible, right? They're just amazing. It's another gift that you can give to people you care about, because I'm having great results for my friends too that are doing that. I use it all. I use the Via line as well. My favorite Via part of Via line is Life Max. I love that product. Okay, but I do it all. I mean, I am not going to tell my body sorry, right? The other thing I will tell you is, where are we, Jerry, with this thing that's happening? You know, I have not had any kind of issue with the viral issue that's going around, and I have traveled. You know, I've gone to Las Vegas 3 times on behalf of ASEA. I've gone to Nashville. I've gone to California. I've been to Idaho twice, and no illness. Zip. Right? And I taught school 40 years. So some people would say, well, you grew all these protections when you're around the petri dish of all these kids, you know, but it's the technology I'm using. I'm absolutely know that.
Well, we
So
do
that's a
know
long answer.
we do know that the only way that viruses are killed is by your cells.
Mhm.
And no matter what we do, your body has to marshal that capability. And surprisingly, the killing agent is a derivative of these particular exhaust molecules that we're actually providing back to the system. So there are real factors in how your body's going to control and survive and thrive in a rapidly changing world in a lot of different ways. I wanted to point out that, you know, those cells that live so long and they have a hard time keeping up with all the damage. In one of the studies that we did, we saw a 16% improvement in cell turnover. That means if you have 100 days when your cells are turning over, you have in the next month, it's only 85. That's 16% in 1 month. And why? Because it's beginning to start to remember, well, what happens in the next month and what happens in the next month? It remembers to make those cells more often, and not just in your skin, but in all of your cells. And
Right.
that's pretty incredible.
That's brain too, right, Jerry? I mean,
Sure. And yeah, you'll look 15 years younger. People wonder, what the heck? How come I want what you got?
exactly right. Right. So I hope I answered thoroughly enough your question, Gloria.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I loved your response and your answer, and also the encouragement. I'm very inspired with, you know, really valuing the opportunity we have to really value our own health, and also to value our community. I'm wondering, could you speak a little bit about the community and what you've experienced as you've been with it from pretty much the beginning?
I would love to talk about that. You know, human beings need to belong, and our community, I feel privileged beyond measure, blessed beyond, you know, I just can't even say, because I'm around people that are up to making a difference in the world. Think about that. To be with people that are making a difference in the world, who are looking at the world with the what if we could create this amazing thing where we could gift people and help them be all they can be. That's where we're at. And I love this community because it's an international community. And I have friends all over the world, right? I would never have that possibility. Right before the pandemic happened, I went to Australia and I was there for a month. And my friends in Australia from this company said to me, you're probably not even going to need to get a hotel. People are going to want you to stay with us, right? And the only hotel stay I had was at the Envision conference, one of the business conferences there, where I stayed with some of my other friends for that conference. The rest of the time, I was shown around that country by natives of the country. I have friends in Norway. I have friends in Sweden. I have friends in Thailand, right? In Mexico, in Colombia. Now, where are you going to have that opportunity to be in an international community that is based on the ethos I just shared, making the world a better place? I'm blessed, is the way I look at it. And being a part of this community is a way that adds to the blessings, allows me to bring light to the world. And that's what I'm up to.
Yeah, well, that's very inspiring, encouraging as well. I want to thank you again for taking your time to be with us, because your time is really valuable. And I'd love to be able to invite you back another time in the future, because I know you have a wealth of stories and information and heart that you can share with our people.
I'd be honored. I'd be honored, Gloria.